Okay.
Yeah.
Tell him he's got bigger things to worry about than that. Tell him to let's help get the Packers back on track here and
Number one seeds.
get them deeper in the playoffs. And let's get Badger football. Tell him his voice has got to be ready for the fall to get Badger football on the right track and rolling. And when I need his help in terms of guiding our team to a Final Four, I'll call him. Tell him, don't call me, I'll call him.
Like you did today.
Greg, I'm right here, right? Yeah, I'm right here.
I know.
That is the University of Wisconsin Badgers men's basketball coach, Greg Gard.
It's always super awkward when people are talking. I'm literally right there.
Yeah,
and
he and I were talking about you. Behind your back to your front.
Yeah.
Behind your back to your front. So for those that are unfamiliar, is it 2 years or 3 years that this has happened?
2 years in a row.
It's at least two.
2 years in a row.
But it's happened. 3. I think it's happened. I think it happened another year, maybe not consecutively.
They were a bubble team in 23, and they ended up not making the tournament. That was the NIT.
Year. And so maybe it was the COVID championship year, but there was
the Johnny Davis year. They were in Milwaukee. They lost to Iowa State.
I think
that
Johnny Davis.
Yeah.
There was also probably that Bronson Koenig year, like year or two after the Final Four. I've been on the train. I mean,
you have.
I'm on the hype train.
I'm the conductor.
Well, and I always get excited with those Thanksgiving championships that we win. Like that always gets me fired up. I learned a lesson that's not as important. Yeah. So we'll see.
All right. So Tausch has historically proclaimed the Badgers a Final Four team, at least the last 2 years. As you may be aware, they have not reached the Final Four since the 2015 team reached the national championship game and got hosed by the officiating and Mike Krzyzewski. And so we had Greg Gard on to talk about A Road at Night, which they had their big opening weekend at Marcus Point Cinemas in Madison. You can still go see the film throughout this week as well.
I'm going to see it today.
But, I did mention to Gardo that, Tausch has said some things that have, and we don't believe in jinxes around here, but nevertheless, the coincidence has been he says something about the Final Four and the Badgers, and then they don't go. And so Gardo asked you very nicely, behind your back to your face, to just don't call us, we'll call you. But you had proclaimed that if on Friday night, Jesse posted a really good montage, which has the direct quote of you basically saying,
"You felt pretty good about that one."
If they throttle Michigan State, be ready on Monday.
And they throttled them.
Big time.
Was a throttling.
Was it like a 21-point game at one point?
It was a 21-point game in the end. They won 92-71. Throttling.
Tom Izzo up there talking about what a great guy and a great coach Gardo is and how underestimated this team is year after year. So I step back from the microphone. The floor is yours. Mark Tauscher, your thoughts.
Well, so I've given this a lot of thought. I understand I've been a little premature and maybe a little excited the last couple of seasons, because especially last year with Tanjay and with how everybody was playing. But this season, it's been a roller coaster. We've seen ups, we've seen downs. I watched a game against Minnesota where it looked like we would have had a hard time beating De Pere High School. And I don't even know anybody on De Pere's team. So I want to make a proclamation today. I do. But whether it was, I think Matt LePay kind of helped guide this when he joined us on Friday. He said, don't do it.
I heard that as well.
Matt LePay. I respect Greg Gard. I think Greg has done a fantastic job. I got a chance to talk to Andy North after the game on Friday for a while.
Did he ask you not to do it?
No, I think he loves it. I think he wants more juice and more buzz. So what I am going to declare today is I'm not, again, let me repeat myself, I am not proclaiming this team a Final Four team yet. And I want to thank Ben Brust, who was also at the game on Friday. All of there are a lot of dignitaries. Joe Thomas, Joe Pavelski shooting T-shirts out with or Bratzukas out with during one of the breaks in honor of the new Hall of Fame that is getting put up over by the Kohl Center, which is awesome. I'm not going to do it yet. And I am going to wait until I see the seedings because there is no home. And if you guys would recall, I said last year, had to go through Milwaukee. I said it. You guys don't want to agree with me, but I said it. Or I said it, I stipulated it as I was talking. Y'all don't want to do it. I did. Check the tape. I don't care what you guys like pushing narratives, and that's fine. And clipping. What I am going to say is, and I thought Brusty on KBN when I joined him, I think it was last week. And after I talked to Andy North a little bit, who's followed this team even closer than I have, even though I would argue this year I've followed this team as close as I possibly have.
Except when they're on Peacock.
I've been to a ton of games. Can't be an 8 or a 9 seed. Can't have a matchup in that round of 32 where we're going to have to play. This is a heavy 1 seed dominated deal, and we don't want to do that unless we have a bunch of rest and ready to go playing them on that following Thursday or Friday. So I'm not going to declare it yet. I believe we're in position to become a 6 or a 7. I know a lot of the lines right now have us at a 7. We got a couple of games out west we should win. I'm not going to not declare it today, but I'm not going to declare it today. I'm still leaving it open. I'm not prepared. As I've been more educated than I've ever been on this team, we're so 3-point dependent. And you know what they always say about 3-point shooting teams.
No, what do they say?
What do they always say, Jason?
I don't know. What do they say?
You don't know?
Nope, not familiar with that one.
You live by the 3, you die by the 3?
Oh, yeah, I've heard that.
This team.
That's what they say.
We will live by the 3 or die by the 3.
Especially if they don't play in Milwaukee.
Fortunately, Friday night, we lived, baby. Whoa, we was living good on Friday night. And this is gonna sound a little goofy, and I think we'll probably want to take calls on this.
Oh boy,
hated the Storm court. Didn't like it. Didn't like Storm in the court. And I shouldn't. I said. I know.
I knew he was going to say that.
Well, and here's why. We have good. Sarah and I had really good seats on Friday night. We dominated the game from start to finish. Nobody was upset. There was nobody thinking that we were a 2-point dog at home. We shouldn't have been. We're better. We just beat Illinois. We're the only team to beat Michigan, and this wasn't some big upset. We're better than they are, and we throttled them. This wasn't a buzzer beater or beating some juggernaut team. Michigan State's a nice team. You know what? We're really blanking good too. So I don't want to take away the joy from the kids. They all had a great time.
And by the way,
security did a great job. They roped off so Izzo and Michigan State could get out. The refs got out pretty much unscathed.
Pretty much.
So that part was good. But I saw with about 2 minutes left some students coming down and security's like, no. And I said to Sarah, well, they're not storming the court tonight. They dominated this game. She's like, oh, no, the court's getting stormed. And then you started looking. Baby, the court got stormed. And it was great visuals, but I didn't like it. Just like I didn't like the Illinois game when we stomped them in football. Washington, I was all on board with. Even though we stunk, I felt like it was the right thing. And Friday night I didn't. And I don't know if I'm wrong on it. It's just how I felt. I didn't like it.
No one's been more anti-field or court storm than you since you said
no. I was all in on Washington game. Hold up. I was all in on Washington.
Yes.
All in on this.
Oh, wait.
And since then, you've done a 180 on it.
Yeah, I don't understand what's happening here. So
I do.
I
wanted to.
Well, okay.
I'm torn. I'm trying to tell you I'm torn on it because I want the visuals. I love the juice. But I'm a proud alumni, and us beating Illinois by 20 points, by 20, whatever it was, 14 points in after we had just beaten the number 24 team after we stunk. That was more for the team, for the vibes. I didn't feel like that one we needed. This game last night, we beat a team that we were dead even with at home, and we throttled them. We didn't hit if we hit a buzzer beater, I'm in. We're up 21 points. Gardo's kids out there grabbing boards. Like, it's just a good win. It wasn't oh my God, we shocked the world, or boy, these guys needed this. But I'm torn on the fact that I love the juice that it brings. But as an alum, I just felt like it was something we didn't need to do. And I am torn on that. So I'm sorry that this is how I feel, because I want to be all, oh God, every time celebrate. I want it to be special. And it just felt like Friday night was a great win, and we're expected. We should be a top 4 team in the Big Ten. It's what we do. And we beat a team by 20-some-odd points that wasn't better than us by a lot. So that's where I came down on it. It's just how I feel.
All right, so here's how I remember things, and you can feel free to disagree. My recollection of the Final Four proclamation was that it did not have an addendum about going through Milwaukee. And when they got hosed, we talked about how great it was that they were going through Milwaukee. I remember that. Yep. But my recollection, again, and this is my recollection, and we'll check the tape, was that after they got completely hosed having to go to Denver, where it was a very decidedly pro-BYU crowd, like it was Provo East, that then you said, well, I said that they had to go through Milwaukee, which I don't think is what happened, but that's fine. Here's my recollection on court storming and rushing the field. My recollection was that there was criticism of the Wisconsin student section when it rushed the field against Washington, which was a borderline top 25 team to begin with. And there were people that were criticizing the student section for celebrating with their crappy team that only won 4 games all year, and you stood up for those students. And you said, why are we trying to legislate their joy? Why are we saying you can't do this? They have stuck through. Did you see? So I remember you defending their right, like
the coaches that have languished, the players have languished.
Exactly. They've been through such a difficult season. You were like the Beastie Boys. You got to fight for your right to rush the field. So then they do it again after the Illinois game. Am I getting the timeline right? And you were considerably less enthusiastic.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
In your support, borderline scolding them. Okay, it was fine for Washington. So again,
I didn't scold.
And now here we sit. They rush the court, storm the court, whatever you want to call it. And old fuddy-duddy, the red sweater crowd, getting near 50 years old, comes on the radio and is scolding these children again for celebrating.
Not remotely scolding. No, I'm not scolding. I'm telling you my thoughts. They're not scolding at all.
You're saying they shouldn't have done it.
No, I don't think they should have.
You said they shouldn't have done it.
You're sitting up in your ivory tower.
I never said how dare you.
I don't approve of this. That sounds like.
Well, they're not going to storm the court.
If it's not scolding, I don't know what it is, but it's looking down upon the people saying no.
Words matter.
Not good.
You did not say.
I'm sorry. If you win by 20 and you're not a huge underdog, it shouldn't be. Like, I'm sorry. That's my feelings on it.
All right. So here's what we're going to do next. Okay. We'll get to Jacob Westendorf's story about older players that Goody would be. And I'm not. By the way, I like Jacob, and I think he does a good job with Bill.
Yeah,
and
you
I think
said you'd room with him, right?
I would share my office with him.
You're pretty limited with who you'd
Paul
hang out
Brettel.
with now, right?
I'd make room for Paul Brettel.
A little more, You become a little more selective with who you like and who you hang out with.
Yeah, that's fair. So here's the question I would like you to pontificate on when we come back, and then we'll take calls. What exactly should the guidelines be for storming the court or rushing the field in college football and college basketball, because this is not this is not exclusive to you.
Yeah, I don't think there should be more than 2 a year. I don't think we should do more. You cannot have more than 2 court storms or field rushes a year. Can't.
So I
Two
think
is the max number.
I think we need to set forth some boundaries. And you're a solutions guy. So this is your chance to solve this blight on college athletics of unnecessary court and field storming when it's not valid to do so. And then we'll take your calls as well, 844-770-3776. My personal opinion is I don't want anybody to get hurt. I was there in 1993 when Wisconsin beat Michigan at Camp Randall Stadium, and Jack Rain, the public address announcer, is telling us that we have pulseless non-breathers. Luckily, no one died. But if you can do it safely, I'm not here to tell you when you can have fun as a college student. So if you want to storm the field, you can't. Here's my rule. You can't do it after a loss. That's my rule. Or a tie. You can't storm the field after a loss or a tie. Okay? That's where I stand. Where do you stand? We will find out where Tausch stands. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. It is a Monday. We generally take calls on Monday, usually during the football season. Before we could do any of that, though,